Hey guys, I hope everyone is doing good. Thank you for everyone who has sent me messages and left comments about the hurricane. Actually, I want to talk about that. What is going on with this? They're hyping this thing up as if it's the worst thing in the world, which it very well might be a very big hurricane. Um, but I think there is a lot more behind this. You see, we were hit three times, three big hurricanes last year. Two of them came directly to where I live, which is southwest Louisiana. This one looks like it's going to southeast Louisiana, which is Baton Rouge, New Orleans. And you see, that matters more to people in the media because that's a blue area and we're a red area. Whereas what occurred last year it is quite astonishing. It's never happened before. You see, those three hurricanes caused, I don't know, somewhere like $30 billion, right? There was a state of emergency declared, the disaster relief, and all of these things. Yet for some reason, none, zero, nothing, nada has been paid out by FEMA to our area. From either, I think it's somewhere, it's almost $1 billion that is just for my parish, which is a county or whatever. Because I know Louisiana doesn't seem like much, but we have all the oil and gas and we have the ports and all of this. And I think there's a much bigger picture going on here. And there has been. We've seen it. What happened last year is our governor, which is literally like 2 hours away from here, Louisiana's not that big, didn't even come to see the worst damage that's ever happened to Southwest Louisiana, like ever. It's been the worst one. They probably was a worse one in like 1940s, but because of the infrastructure and everything, it wasn't near as bad. We didn't have electricity for some people up to like 8 weeks, and it was massive damage. There's still, I would say, at least 25% of people still haven't gotten their insurance payouts, or they haven't been able to fix their homes yet because of the shortages and all of these things. And I believe that that's what's actually going on. They are trying their darndest to get Louisiana to beg the federal government to help us. And that's what they've been waiting for. This has never happened. You know, people talk about Katrina all the time and how disastrous it was. And yeah, it was. It was. However, within 10 days, they had like $10 billion slated. The money was rolling in. But you know what happened? That went to a bunch of corrupt politicians and corrupt businesses that pocketed all that money. Some people went to jail for it, some didn't. And I think that's what's going on. You see, southeast Louisiana is blue, southwest Louisiana is red, and most of Louisiana is red. And even the blue areas of Louisiana and the south in general, we aren't into begging the federal government for help. For anything, even though it is our tax dollars that pays FEMA. It's not like asking them to help. It's saying, hey, give the money back. You know, like, that's what we paid in, now give it back to us. Just like insurance, that you shouldn't be considered, that, you know, that's not like begging for money. It's like you paid for the insurance so you can get paid out. And yet we have insurance companies and the federal government all holding the money. And it's a lot of money. And for infrastructure, I'm talking about bridges, roads, you know, a lot of the electrical stuff is by AT&T or whoever does the electrical. But y'all see what I'm saying. There is something absolutely going on. And what was even so strange, and my mayor was just like, what is going on? I mean, this was the worst catastrophe that we've ever had. And yet the media was completely silent on it after 2 days. But why? Because we didn't need their help. They literally canceled interviews with my mayor that they had set up CNN, MSNBC, all these people, they had set up all these, but because all of our churches and all of our local places, everybody got together and started making meals for the construction workers that were coming in, people that had lost all their stuff, whatever it was, we were doing all that stuff. Okay, sorry, my son was bouncing that basketball. I was like, just stop for a second. Okay, but so what I foresee happening with this is there's going to be a disaster in New Orleans or Baton Rouge or whatever, and they're going to ramp up that situation. Like, you're not going to be able to get your whatever if you don't have that. And like, you're not going to be able to get shelter if you don't have that. You're not going to get your money for whatever, they give like disaster relief, like $1,000 or whatever. You're not going to be able to get that. Like, this is going to be their in for that. They actually did that with other things. It wasn't with a situation like that. It was, you can't boycott Israel. Like, you had to sign a paper that you would not boycott Israel. Like, how random was that to get your federal money from a hurricane? I'm not going to get into that, but that's what they do during disasters. And that's why we're just like, whatever. Like, do whatever. We don't want your help. But of course, they're going to send their guys out here, and it's not really going to help. We don't need that. However, there is a plan going on. There's something going on. You see, during the Civil War, Louisiana was a battleground. It always has been. The Louisiana Purchase, all of these things. Louisiana is, as much as it doesn't seem important, it is very important. And it's very strategic. We've got all the ports. We've got the oil and gas. We've got the salt. We've got natural gas. We have all of these things. But not only that, we are in between Texas and Florida. So if Texas and Florida hold strong, which Florida is going to, absolutely, with these draconian tyranny that's going on, that's coming from D.C., they're in to any type of secession or whatever. I mean, this is a lot bigger than what people are seeing. Louisiana is that place. It would not take much for them to create a situation, and a hurricane is one of those type of situations, where they say, oh, well, we're going to have to send in the federal whatever, troops from whatever, and we have one of the biggest bases here, which is in Fort Polk, that they could stage all of this stuff. I'm not going to go into what I believe that they're doing, but I think what they've been doing over this last year is holding all that money to try to get us to beg for the money. You see, my mayor went to D.C. and was just kind of like ignored. Like, hey, remember that $1 billion that we were supposed to get? Like, we have got literally $0. Literally zero. I mean, it is the most bizarre thing ever. And I don't know if he's not stupid, but I just don't think that he sees how big this really is. Because D.C. sees that the states are wanting to go back to what our founding fathers said, which is each state, we have a 10th Amendment and a 9th Amendment for a very important reason, so that D.C. doesn't control everything and act like a bunch of tyrants. But that's what we're seeing. And, Louisiana is that strategic area that's going to try to be a stronghold for D.C., especially with our crazy, goofy Democrat governor in Baton Rouge. It's just something I've never seen before, and I foresee, like, if you are in the Baton Rouge, New Orleans area, in the cities especially, you should get out, because what's going to happen if those levees break again or anything is probably going to be disastrous. And I don't doubt that they would cut off the internet, cut off all kind of things, to where the things that are happening, I mean, they've done that before, they've censored it with other hurricanes, like, oh, we don't want people to know that neighbors helping neighbors. They hate that. They really hate that. But not even that. Like, if they do send federal troops in here, whatever the case may be, like, I'm telling y'all, that I feel that there's something bigger going on for them to make such a huge deal, like saying this is a life-altering hurricane. What do you mean it's life-altering? We have hurricanes all the time. We had 3 last year. Why are you making such a big deal about this one? Because they already have a plan. And they've already screwed us so much that, so many people are living in RV camps and all of these things because they haven't been able to fix their homes yet. That, and that's what they do. They, even if they're not creating the situation, they never let a good catastrophe go to waste, ever. And this one, I think that they already have it planned out. It's like, oh, this is going to be it, it's going to hit all these people that refuse to get that. They refuse to bow down to this. We're going to do whatever. I mean, they did take people's guns during Katrina. That did happen. A lot of people don't know that happened. They think it's rumor or whatever, but it did happen. I'm not going to get into whether I really agree with that. I mean, I don't, but I also don't agree with people that stayed. Like, if you're you do become a hazard. You do. Now, there's some things that are just unintentional, unforeseen, and there are people that need to stay behind. Nurses, police officers, firefighters, the Cajun Navy. A lot of people stay behind, and we come back soon. Anyway, I don't want to make this too long, but I just want to say that there is something much bigger going on, and if you are in Louisiana or Mississippi or whatever, and they have you sign some paperwork to get $1,000 or whatever the thing is, you need to read that, because I think that there's something much bigger going on, and I don't know, I guess we're just gonna have to watch and wait and see, but we've already been seeing this with Louisiana, and our governor is not strong. Our senators, pretty much maybe two of the state senators are standing up, but in general they're not. They're still forcing the kids to wear masks to school, the most ridiculous things. They're just doing very crazy things to demoralize and make people just completely tired of all of this, and that way you're easier to manipulate in that situation. So I'll try to keep y'all updated, but if you would like to donate, my entire channel is demonetized because of whatever. But yes, we will be doing whatever we can if we have to go out there and help feed people, get people out. I don't know a plan yet, because we don't technically even know. The hurricane might turn and come here. We're not really sure yet. I need to check on that. But anyway, I will keep y'all updated. Thank you. Y'all have a wonderful day. Like, share, and subscribe. Bye, guys.